Hello, compadres. Legendslayer here with a horribly messed up voice. Today, I'm going to show you how to program. Yep, just decided I'd do this. This was a series that people really seemed to like on my old channel. Or I guess it's not really an old channel anymore. It's coming back to life. But we're going to hop into my virtual machine here. I'm running a VirtualBox virtual machine. You don't have to do that. That's just because I'm on a Mac, and this will not work on Macs unless you make a virtual machine. So I might do that in a different tutorial, but basically it's just VirtualBox and ISOs and stuff, and I'll get into that, or you can just go find a different tutorial. But what we're doing today is we're learning how to program some simple applications in Visual Basic, which is, you know what, hip hip hooray. So we're going to go from the very, very, very bottom of the chain, beginner programmer, to almost expert. I know a lot about programming, and a lot of you might not know that, but I do know quite a bit about programming, and I will teach you pretty much everything I know in this series. So yeah, let's go right into this. We've already wasted quite a bit of time, but let's hop into VirtualBox. So don't mind any of this. Especially not that. That's just really weird. Those of you who know about my little startup company will know what this stuff is, and we will eventually get to create stuff like this. But to start, we're gonna open this up. Microsoft Visual Basic 2010 Express. I'm just looking through stuff, making sure nothing leaks. Alright. Fair enough. Okay. So this is the start page you're going to be greeted with. If you want to go download a new version of Visual Basic, sure, go ahead. They don't really add anything, so I don't see why you would. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from people who do download the newer versions and figure out that there is stuff that they've added. And there probably is. It's just so minuscule that I can do everything I used to do in Visual Basic 2015 on my crappy little Windows 7 Ultimate virtual machine running 2010 Express. So, let's go. We're going to create a new project. And this is the crap you're going to be faced with. So, I didn't know what this was at first either. And by the time you reach this point, although it's only a few minutes into the video, you're probably going to have spent a lot of time downloading this stuff as well. So just keep that in mind. By the time you reach this point, if you haven't already, you'll have wasted a lot of your life trying to figure out how this crap all works. So, here's where you name your application. The first little bit of creativity that they're going to inject in your faces. So, you want to make sure it's selected. I think it, by default, is Windows Forms application. And we're going to go enter a name here. YouTube. Tutorial. Oh, tutorial. There we go. Okay, so now that this is loaded, it's not that, it doesn't take long to load. We're just going to resize. This is what you're greeted with. So, it's not the ones and zeros that are very stereotypical. Like, people going into this would think, oh, well, I'm just going to be greeted with a whole bunch of colory letters. Nope, not the case. So, let's just go YouTube. That's what we're going to call our form. And then right there, that's going to be the text. Now, this is the most newbie mistake I've ever done. I have actually done this. This is the name of your form. This is the text. Okay? Just want to clarify that. So then when we get into switching forms and opening new windows, and by the way, a form is a window. Let's just clarify that as well. When we get into opening new forms, don't type YouTube if you want to go to Form 1. Form 1 is the name. If you want to change the name, go right up to the top where it says name and you change the name, but don't do that. That's just going to make it confusing when you're watching my tutorials, because I don't change the forum names, ever. If you don't know how I got rid of that show icon, by the way, that's just a value here. You double click this text box and it changes the value of show icon to false. Gives you nice little tips and things and just tells you what this is down here as well, which is pretty nifty. So, we're going to go ahead and collapse all of these actually. This is something that I still haven't done and I've been developing for a while on this VirtualBox machine. But, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and collapse everything. And then go BOOM! All Windows Forms. So this is everything. Everything ever related to Windows Forms. You got all your dialog boxes, all these picture boxes and everything. And we're going to get to use quite a few of these. So, the first thing is we're going to want to make this window look sort of okay. So, by default, the background color is control. We're going to want to change it to, and there's a whole crap ton of colors, by the way. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to change it to white. That's a nicer shade. So, we got a window. Congratulations, guys. You've made a window and you haven't typed a single character. Well, except for when you renamed stuff and named the application. You haven't typed a single code character. So, if you press Start Debugging, or apparently F5, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm really not good with shortcuts and stuff. But, click Start Debugging, and you will see your window just as if you would be using another window, except it's way laggier because it's running inside a virtual machine, inside a Mac, on a debugging stage. It's really, really, really crappy for me. But you guys hopefully won't have that trouble. Also, I really apologize for this crap at the side. I don't know what on earth. Why can't this just format? Never mind. So anyway, this is the window. It does literally nothing right now. But we're gonna make it do stuff. So, buttons. Everybody likes buttons, and I'm sure you've already seen it. There's a button right there. Boom! Button. Massive button in the middle of the window. So, if you're really, really new to coding, I'm just going to clarify something for you. If you type this in, and it turns it into a start button, that button still doesn't do anything. Like watch. Just watch. It literally does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so now that we've clarified that, let's make it do stuff. So, we are going to change the back color of this. And I know it says it's white. It's not white. Right now it's control, which is not white. Gotta change it to a different color, then you gotta change it to white. Just like that. You got a little start button there. You can change the font on buttons. Trying to change the font on this window here is kind of sucky because it screws everything up, so don't do that. Okay, so we're gonna make this bigger, because right now it's kind of small. And we're gonna double click it. What the crap? Who would have guessed? We're coding. Oh no, oh my. Okay, what am I gonna do? It's really not that hard, guys. Just watch. Message box. Hello. Okay? Now, when you click this button, now that you've typed that one little line of code, it's going to say hello. It will say hello. Like, watch. Just hello. See that? Beautiful. It's even got the name of your application at the top of the window. It's got a close button and an OK button. That's really wow. But yeah. So that's your basic little start button thing. But we're gonna actually not use that. We're not actually going to use that in our application. We're going to delete that line of code. That's just to show you a really, really basic function in Visual Basic. Like the basic part of Basic. So, now we're going to get into stuff that's actually going to matter in our final product, whenever that may be. So, I leave all of my form names. Like, watch. See? Form 2? I'm going to leave it like that. Boom, it opens in a new tab up here. If you want to go back to Form 1, you can just click it like that. But then you open this, you change the back color to, I don't know, let's say red, because why not? Change
it's
the text.
5 o'clock.
Good job. Change the text to, it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. And then show icon is false. Okay, so I got a foolproof application now. Now when I press the start button and no, my dreams are crushed. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't actually think that's a complete lie. That was a false thing. But simply type in form2.show. This is so English that like this would probably be my first guess. Form2.show. And then it puts those in automatically. You don't have to do that. Try to ignore most of this IntelliSense crap. Like if I go X, then 10 billion different pieces of turd just like pop up in front of my face. So that's not the best thing in the world. But it can be really useful. For example, if I go button 1, then I can just go press my up arrow key and then press tab, and then button 1 is there, dot, back color, dot, white dot, white dot, white dot, white dot, white dot. But, that's not what we're doing right now. That's just one of the ways you can use IntelliSense, but for now, just try and ignore it. We're going to get into it later. And then me.hide. Now, this will actually work. It won't use our message box that was there for demonstration purposes. But if you press start, it's going to pop up the it's 5 o'clock window. So, this is our little basic application. Very, very, very basic, very simple. Okay? And just so that none of our eyes blow up, because this is a really bright shade of red on a really bright monitor, I'm going to change this to, I don't know, let's go darker shade of red. There we go, that's nicer. So, now that that's been done, I'm actually going to change the text on this window, because this was obviously just a joke. YouTube window 2. So, that is how you make windows, and that's how you access windows and close windows and stuff. If you do form1.close, everything will close. Now, don't try this, but actually you can. So this is your startup form, form 1 or form 2. If I change this to form 2, obviously it's going to start with form 2. But you could change your shutdown mode so that when the last form closes, the first form is still there? No. So that when the last form closes, the whole app closes, instead of when the first form closes. But just to make things simpler for yourself, use the me.hide line for disappearing, for making windows disappear, and then use the me.close line for making the whole app shut down. Alright, so that's a little bit about stuff. Let's just go over here, see how long it's been. Oh, that's not long. Okay, we can keep going for a while. So, we are going to go And we're going to add a button. And we're going to start learning about variables. So, we are going to change this to a cookie clicker style application. Alright? So, we are going to go change the back color of this button to white. Or actually, you know what? Instead of wasting our time right now, press delete, go over here, Control C, Control V, boom, it's right there. And that's our little cookie clicker button, and we can just change the text. Stupid thing. Okay. Click. So, that's our click button. Now, what we're gonna do is just, again, this is all for demonstration purposes. We're gonna grab a progress bar. And this is obviously going to show progress. So, you ever notice how, when you're moving files or something, or when you're searching for files and stuff in Windows, and when Windows is actually doing a process, it has a little green bar, or actually sometimes it's a big green bar like this one. That is a progress bar, and you'll see once we change the value, it fills it with green. And obviously 100 is 100%, so it's the finished value. But we're going to change this to 0. And then, we're going to tackle two birds with one stone. So we can make this coding really easy, but just to show off two different things, I'm going to add some variables in here. So, dim is how you create variables for one form. If you want to access the same variable on multiple different forms, then you would go public. And just in case, we're going to go public value as single equals 0. Right. You're probably thinking, what does this... No, I'm kidding. I don't actually think you guys are stupid. I'm just saying that if you're really, really new to programming, you really won't understand much of this. For example, I have not actually ever really looked into this. I don't care what that means because I've never used it. But public is a statement to declare values publicly, or variables publicly, so that many forms can access it. If you go form2.value, it would access this same variable. Then you change your name, you choose the name for your variable, which you're going to access later. As is just, well, it's what it's set to. And a single is a number, or an integer is a number, or an int 32, or an int 64, or a double. Nobody cares what you use, just use a single or an integer, depending on what... It doesn't even really change much. I'm sure people are just going to look into that just to prove me wrong, but I have used singles and integers like they're the same thing for like 2 years now, so I don't really care what you choose, or how wrong you prove me. Just don't mess around. So, public value is single equals 0. Yay! Okay, so, we're gonna go, every time you click this button, value plus equals 1. Progress bar 1 dot value. So that's the value of the progress bar. That's not this. This isn't that. That isn't this. They're two separate things. Progress bar 1 dot value equals value. Now, if progress bar 1 dot value greater than equals, I'm going to explain all this in a minute, just don't go away, 99, so if it's more than 99, then it runs the stuff we're going to put in here. So, this adds 1 to the value. this makes this equal to this. So the progress bar 1 value is equal to value. Now, there's another way you can do this, and yes, you smart cookies, yes, you can do this. Progress bar 1 dot value plus equals 1 instead of using variables. But like I said, there are easier ways to do my code. It's just I'm tackling 2 birds with 1 stone in this tutorial. So if it's more than 99, then it just goes message box, you win. Then progress bar 1 dot value equals 0, value equals 0, and we start over again. So this is our little application. Press start, brings you to this. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. And you keep clicking about 100 times, actually exactly 100 times. And the value keeps going up, and the progress bar value keeps going up, and you'll see that as I click, those little white things just fly across the green bar. Click, click, click. You win. And now we're at 0 again. So that's our little application. I want to do more of these tutorials. I hope you guys enjoy these tutorials. If you're wondering, yes, I'm going to get into 3D development sometime, eventually. And yes, if you've seen my other work, you know that I have worked with 3D stuff. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to show you today. It doesn't usually take this long. Really, if you have watched this tutorial, you're going to remember all this stuff, and you're just going to go bang, 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 bang. And eventually, you're going to complete a 20-minute tutorial in about, I don't know, 10. At the most. But I just wanted to go through this in depth, thoroughly, and make sure what I was doing was correct at every little corner. So, if you want more in-depth code tutorials, please leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a comment, and as always, guys, peace out. Sweet!